Hello, tribe, and welcome to today's masterclass. Today, we're talking about the fear behind what will they think. This masterclass is here to help you let go of all those voices that you have in your head that are right now making you shrink yourself and feel small and not being your full authentic self, which is the person who is going to help you achieve everything that you want to achieve in life. I am not alone today. I am with my girl, Michelle Clarkson, and I am so excited. I'm so excited. Michelle, thank you so much. It's like last time we've been together, everybody was so excited. And I mean, here we are again. If you want to introduce yourself just a little bit so they know, so they can get situated, that would be awesome.
Well, awesome. Well, I am so glad to be back here with you, Erica. And like you said, yes, the last time, our last masterclass, the discussion was awesome and amazing. So today is going to be even better. But I am Michelle Clarkson, Executive Leadership Strategist, and I help women who have been stuck, disconnected, be able to reconnect to who you truly are, release those things that no longer serve you, and most importantly, become the version of the woman that you desire to be. So I am so excited today because this topic, the fear behind what they will think, who cares? Let's go.
Well, I mean, I feel like this, we have been taking a master's in this topic lately, and
Yeah.
we've been kind of together in this journey because I feel like the past few weeks we really said F it. We
Oh,
really said like,
oh,
you know what?
oh, yes. Yes, we have. But that's the thing. You can't just talk these things. You have to be able to live them and embody them. And that's how you're really able to help women transform and change because I'm not just talking from theory, I'm talking from lived experiences. So,
Exactly,
yeah.
exactly. And for the ones who don't know me, my name is Erica. I am your coach for What's Next. I help women who have done a lot of the healing and a lot of the work get out of their heads and actually start building and going after what they want without self-neglect, self-sacrifice. We don't want any of that around here. So yeah, and I am so excited to have this conversation with you, Michelle. What we agreed upon was to give you some strategies to embrace your authentic self and let go of that voice, annoying voice that is telling you that who are you to do this? What are people going to think? Like, Michelle, before we start with the strategies, why do you think it's so hard for people to just be themselves?
Well, I think just the main thing is because people are just concerned about what others will think. That perception of what someone will think about me. And a lot of that sometimes it goes back to, when we're younger and growing up and sometimes, being told like, okay, hey, tone it down or, you're too bubbly or you have too much energy. But
Mm.
now as an adult, I embrace that energy because when I'm around people that aren't bringing the energy, I don't even want to be around you. So why did you tell me not to be myself and bring the energy? So see, that's what it is. We're just concerned of what others think, and then sometimes it's those beliefs that have been placed in us about how we're supposed to conduct ourselves. And so a lot of times we shrink because we're just trying to stay in this little bubble and keep others comfortable because I don't want you saying anything about me. Now we
Yes,
can talk. Please talk, 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 talk.
totally, totally. But I'm with you 100% on that. And I was about to say, I see people coming up live. If you're live, say hello. And if you're catching this on the replay as well, because you are, we feel your energy right now. Okay. So don't be afraid to say hello in the comments. Don't be shy. I totally agree with you. It comes from past experiences where we weren't allowed to be ourselves, right? I remember as a child people be like, shut up and shut up and just be quiet and you're a girl, act like a girl and all of those things that, we have it inside of our heads, right?
Mhm.
And I find it very interesting that even though we, as women, we do so much work on ourselves, this is one of those things that it still nags us a little bit. So we can't. And I was telling you the other day about that, that day that I had with my partner by the pool and how embarrassed I was to share my joy because of like, what are people going to think and say about me? you know,
Mhm.
um, it, even though I've done all of that work, but I'm glad I have strategies. And I'm very curious to know what strategies you're bringing to the table, because I'm like, this is going to be similar. So I have like a
Yeah,
list like
so it's
this.
funny you said that, and I love that you mentioned, your post about the pool, because I love that, and one, us connecting and everything, and knowing that you just moved to the house and working on things, and it's like, okay, hey, we're getting the pool ready. I thought that was so amazing to see. Okay, hey, we have the pool ready, and you're out there. But then, in turn, for you to say, oh my gosh, you don't know what it took for me to post that video, and it's like we all have those moments from time to time, and last week I shared my moment with you because I was sick last week and I suffer from an autoimmune disease. And so last week she had the final word and sat me down, and not posting and being away from the tribe, I was like, let me just put something out there. But like I said, I was sick. I couldn't even get out of bed. And I posted a picture of myself in the bed with my bonnet on. And it's like, you have no idea how freeing that was, because that was what I felt of me giving someone else permission for you to be your authentic self, sis. We're not always going to be this, put together like we are right now. We all wake up, got to brush our teeth, wash our face. There's a different look that we have at different stages. So be okay with who you are and embrace all of that. And really, when we are our authentic selves and show who we really are, that's what people connect to.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
people connect to. So I love that you shared that, because I had my moment, and I was like, it was so freeing, because from there I'm like, what do I have to hide from the world? I have shown you what I feel is me, just being in my most transparent, stripped down self, laying in this bed, sick,
Yeah.
hair wrapped up. But this is me being me. So that's the thing. But as far as some of the strategies, well, one of the first ones that I had down was just kind of aligns perfectly with what I was just talking about, is identify where you're performing.
Mm.
Because part of not being our authentic selves is we feel that there is a certain way that we have to present ourselves, or a certain way we have to talk or dress when we're around certain people. And I've spent 25 plus years in corporate America, corporate leadership, global, like you name it. But the one thing, I've always stayed true to who I was. And
Mm.
meaning, what I mean by that, there are many sides that I have. I have my professional side, I have my
Yeah.
fun, energetic side, I have the side that, oh, she's a vibe. I have my spiritual side. I have so many sides and so many elements to who I am, but I always bring all of them. So if you get to meet me and interact with me, you're going to get to meet all of those different levels that exist within me. And I'm not going to hold back from being who I am. So, one of the things is you can't be authentic if you're constantly performing and worrying about what others will think, or trying to fit the mold that maybe somebody else wants you to be in. Going back to being in corporate, you see the red hair. Before it was red, it was blonde. But, it's like, is that really something that is deemed as professional? Absolutely, because I'm the person rocking the hair. So, just those things, being able to accept and embody who you are, because, like I said, you just can't be your authentic self if you're constantly performing.
Yeah, absolutely. This is one of the best strategies I've heard, because one of the strategies that I had to share was to connect with yourself, right? And to figure out who you truly are. So just detaching yourself from all of the rules that you have, and because we all have rules, right? You said you have different sides to you, and it's so true. And I'm so glad I know all of them, or pretty much all of you, and you have been very authentic with me, and I really appreciate it. And this is a very important work to do, to connect with yourself, and then figure out, okay, so yeah, where am I not being myself, right? I remember having this colleague at work. We used to work at this spa a long time ago, another lifetime. And this woman, when she was at work, she was stiff and she was tough, and she's like, these people who work with you that everybody hates
Yeah.
because they're so
And there's
annoying.
always one, no matter where. Yes.
So that's who she is. And one day I had a conversation with her, and she was telling me about how she was playing around with her daughter and how she used to invent stories and characters and do voices. And I'd ask her, where is this woman at work?
You're like, can we meet her?
Why, like, you are amazing. Like, why are you pretending like you are that B word, right? What is happening here? So sometimes we just hold back and probably trying to protect ourselves, right?
Yeah.
But is it really protecting ourselves?
And that's the thing, it's not, because it's one of those things, as we hear the term all the time, shrinking yourself. That
Yeah,
right there is, how we shrink ourselves because we're not being who we truly are. Sometimes it's you change how you speak depending on who you're around. No, you're
yeah,
going to be the same at all times,
yeah,
or you're holding back your real thoughts. Those are things as well when you're not being yourself, because when you're holding back your real thoughts, that's not you being you. Or saying what sounds good instead of what's true, because that's something that
Ooh,
if I'm your friend, oh, let me tell you that right there, I'm gonna be the friend to tell you the truth. You may not want to hear it, but I want you to be truthful with me. Don't tell me what sounds good and what you think that I want to hear. Tell me the truth. And
yeah,
you can stand in your truth when you know that you're operating in your own secure power, being who you are.
yeah. And also, when you are just, I used to think that I had the authenticity, right? Okay, so I had it, I'm authentic, I am myself. And then I started digging a little bit deeper. And I realized that I was editing myself in the emails that I send out to people, in the way that I did my content, in the way that I'm talking to a specific type of woman, but I want everybody to be authentic. So I'm going to try and, be more empathetic towards. So there are so many ways where you can be limiting yourself right now. And this is especially for women who already done a lot of the work, because they're probably like, no, I'm authentic, I say my piece. But then you go and you want to work on your business, and you have to press record, and you have to press send that email, and you want to say something in session. If you are a coach and you're like, oh, that's not very coachy like, and then you're like, you hold yourself back. So there are so many ways where you can do that. And I feel it's beautiful that for you to just pinpoint, just really do that analysis of, okay, where am I holding myself back? That's the perfect first step to start. But
Yes.
of course, it's easier said than done, right? So what do we do? What do we do?
Well, it starts with kind of that first, to your point, asking yourself, where in my life are you showing up, but not as your full self? And, I think about my time when I was in corporate and the different teams that I had and working with people. One thing that I can say is who the world sees now from the standpoint of the content that I put out and getting to know Michelle Clarkson is exactly what they experience.
Oh yeah, I love that. Love
So
that.
that's the one thing. Once you're able to connect to who you truly are and have that confidence in who you are, those other things no longer matter. And as women, it's so important for us, if we're in that space where you have been able to do the work to reconnect to who you are, have
Mm.
that confidence in you, to be able to walk in your purpose and show others, because someone's watching and someone's like, I remember Erica, but she didn't used to be like how she is now.
Yeah.
Because Erica is who I've always been. I was just keeping her tucked inside. And
Yeah.
same thing like with some people that maybe going back to high school or my college days. Now they may look at me today and say, wow, who is this person? Because the person today is not that person back then that was shrinking herself and concerned about what people thought and what are they going to say, and I can't be this way. And once you're able to, like I said, figure out where you're not fully showing up as your full self,
Mm.
that's where the work stands, or starts, I should say, because The performance will get you approval, but it
Mhm.
will cost you.
Yeah.
And what it'll cost you is you.
Okay. We need to clip that. We need to clip. Hold on. I have something. I have something.
Oh, okay? Clock that T that was just dropped, okay? Performance will get you approval, but it will cost you you.
There you go. I was waiting. I was waiting for 15 minutes to use that applause.
Just not worth it, you know?
It's not worth it. It's not worth it. And just to piggyback a little bit on what you said about who you are, and like, so you have been hiding and now you are this person. Also, remember to upgrade when you become a complete new person, because sometimes we're acting as if we were this person 5 years ago. And and I've noticed myself, for example, the type of content that I was sharing and where my life was right now. I was like, what am I doing? This is not me anymore,
Mhm.
right? We need to step up the game and start showing the world who am I right now. Because sometimes you go through phases where you really do like a quantum leap, for lack of a better word, which was what happened to me recently. I just made a huge, like a big change in my life. Okay, so my life changed completely. I was living a very comfortable life in the Canary Islands, and I chose to move with my partner. Now we live in the mainland Spain, in this house in the country, and it's just showing sides of me that, you know, I'm a new person. So just allow yourself also to change and to be that new person, right? If you were a person of like high heels, I need to, be all, an entire production to show up, and now you're not that person. It's fine. It's okay. Being authentic is part of just also allow ourselves to grow and to show up as we are. If you and it reduces so much pressure, right?
Mhm.
Even you, Michelle, I really love that you showed up when you were sick, but it's not like you forced yourself to work. You showed up vulnerable and you said, you know what, this is what's happening. And we could just feel your energy and your essence, but you were not all dolled up or anything. It was just you, and it was the most beautiful thing ever. So sometimes we feel like we to show up, we need to show up the best version of ourselves, the more, and it's not true. You have to show up as you are right now, and then everything else becomes easier because
Yeah.
it takes the pressure. For me, it just takes the pressure out of me. I say it all the time, I'm all for cycle syncing, menstrual. Every live I do, I'm like menstruation. I don't know what's wrong with me, but I'm like, if I'm having a low energy day, I'll be like, tribe, it's my luteal phase. Okay, if I'm weird, it's because I'm on my luteal phase, and it
Mhm.
reduces the pressure to show up. Right? I hope this helps people realize that you can show up as you are. You don't need to create something else.
Yes. And I love that you touched on the point of growth
Mm.
because as human beings, we come here as babies, but you're not the size that you were when you were born. So just as the evolution of humans, we grow, our bodies grow, things change in our appearance. And so the same thing should happen within your life. There should be some elements of growth. And when growth starts happening and that change starts setting in, there's going to be a different version of you that comes out of that.
Yeah.
And when you're in those growth seasons, don't be afraid of that change or resist what is changing within you, because when you're growing and trying to do something different or get to another level, you can't get to that level or you can't grow to be whatever you want to be being the same person. So
Yeah.
there has to be some type of shedding that happens with that old you so that the new you can come in. And
Yes.
part of that is being able to embrace what's happening during that change, and that's embracing you,
Mhm.
everything about yourself. And a lot of women sometimes feel like when I'm coaching them, they're like, oh, I'm lacking confidence. And a lot of times it's you don't have a confidence problem, they have a truth problem. because you're
Yeah.
just not living your truth of who you are. And going back to just like I said,
Yeah.
the on the performance, it'll get you the approval, but it will cost you you. So that's just the thing. I love that you hit and touched on the growth because that is so critical. And one of those things also that sometimes we know what we need, but we ignore it. Or you know what you don't like, but you're tolerating things. And so all of those things are holding you back from being the amazing person that you already are. The greatness is already within us. But it's once you realize how great you are, look at, look,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes. Yes. And I can hear some voices, I can hear some people being like, yada, yada. Yeah, I'm awesome. Yeah, I should just connect with myself. But every time that I try to speak up, it's really hard. My throat starts closing and I get all accelerated. And
the
so
louder the fear gets.
yeah, the fear is gonna come, right?
Mhm.
So first of all, let's normalize fear, okay?
Yeah,
We're gonna feel fear. Now there's a difference here. What you want is not okay, we're not gonna eliminate fear, but what we can do is eliminate dysregulation,
yes,
because it's what's gonna actually stop you from being authentic and showing up as you are.
yes,
So no matter how you're trying to express your authenticity right now, remember that you can always use self-regulation in the moment before doing anything else, or in general in your life, to help you feel safe as you step up, as you show up as yourself, as you do the presentation and you're so scared, as you so just remember, because I know that just do it doesn't work, right?
yes,
Sometimes it doesn't work. Okay. Sometimes you say, Erica, just do it. Why are you scared? It
yes,
doesn't work. So when the fear is so much that you feel dysregulated and you cannot act, or you are completely on edge doing things, which is not sustainable, then please use self regulation practices to help you show up. Because a lot of us, we started this conversation asking why that happens. Why do we struggle so much to be authentic? And it's because somewhere in our lives at a certain time, people made it not okay, right? So it was not safe for us to be authentic. For me, it was not safe at all, right? So I needed to learn how to regulate myself, to tell my body that, you know what, you're safe. Like nothing is going to happen. You are going to be okay. So if you are one of these people who are like, okay, I understand all of this, you probably read the books, you probably heard something similar to what we said. Remember to regulate yourself before, during, and after, so you can create that safety to show up. That's
yes.
how you actually going to be able to do the thing even though you're scared, you know?
Yes, yeah, I love that, and that's the thing too of not allowing the fear to control you, because we're all going to have fear. And it was just last week when I was talking with one of my clients, and she was sharing with me where she had an opportunity to speak about an event that she's going to be hosting in the next couple months. And she had texted me. She was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm freaking out." And I was like, "Hey, calm down. They probably just want an overview, a little awareness. It's not like you're really having to do a big presentation." And so we were texting that. So when we were in session and we were talking about it, and she said, "You're exactly right. It was fine." And I told her, "But it's okay to have those moments. We all will have those moments." And I told her, I said, "I just experienced the same thing the other day, because in a couple months, I'm going to be a part of this leadership experience tour. And I'm going to be speaking, but I'm going to be speaking on one of the biggest platform stages, audiences that I've spoken on yet in my career." And I told her that I had a moment where I had to just stop and say, "Michelle, what have you gotten yourself into?" But then, like I told her, 30 seconds after that, like you said, I had to regulate my nervous system. That is fear and doubt talking.
Mm.
You will be fine. And moving on from there, I was fine. So, it's being able to utilize those tools that we have to, regulate us, help us understand that it's okay. But the one thing also that the fear of what will they think and really being your authentic self unapologetically.
Mm.
The one thing that I think people fail to realize is we're all different.
Mm.
We're all different. You know, you're Erica, I'm Michelle. Um, you know, there's someone else. We were all created to be great, but we're all different. So no one's going to be just like you. So you don't have to try to be like the next person. And I think if people just embrace that point that we are all different and just be you. There's
Yeah.
only one you. So why are you trying to be anybody else or worried about what someone else has to say about the one and only you?
Yeah. And how many times we look at other people and we're like, oh my God, they are doing great and they are showing up in this way. And these people also are very fearful and scared all the time and trying to figure things out. And oh my God,
So I know I was like, what was
is
that?
everything okay?
Yes, I don't know. It sounds like a picture or something fell off the wall, but something just broke. See, this is what
Somebody.
happens when you're live. No.
Oh my God. But yeah, that's the and one of the strategies that I had to share also was like just to drop the perfectionism and and the comparison with other people. Just drop the perfectionist. You are perfect as you are, your version of yourself right now. Just allow yourself to show that. And sometimes it's really difficult to be your authentic self because you're trying to portray the most the excellent version of yourself, and you're not always going to be on your A game. So if you wait for you to be on your A game to show up, then I mean, what are you doing? Authentically means showing up in at your different stages as you are, not just perfect.
Yes, yeah, and there's never any perfectionism, and I think also, you know, you have to build that self trust before you seek approval, because if
Yeah.
you don't trust yourself and trust who you are, you'll always look for permission from someone else or validation from someone else. So, you know, that looks like second guessing your decisions or needing validation or permission before you move and take action on something and just overthinking how those things will be received. And the real shift that we need to think about is what if I trusted myself first
Hmm.
and let people adjust to me?
Yeah. Yeah. And just the simple act of asking yourself, okay, what if I trusted myself? What would I do?
Yes. Yeah.
If I
Yeah.
trusted myself enough, what would I be doing and saying? What kind of person would I be right now? It's such a powerful question. And I have some thoughts on building trust in ourselves, right? Sometimes we have this thing of, oh my God, I don't trust myself. I don't have that confidence. But I feel like we sometimes forget that this is something that you build and that you are going to trust yourself as you show up more and more often.
Yeah.
So, what do you think would be the best strategy for someone who doesn't have that, self confidence and self trust?
Mhm. So the one thing is the self trust and the confidence, because you're right, you know, the confidence comes from when we take actions. And so actions come from when we make a decision to do something, a decision to understand that everyone doesn't need to understand me. I just
Mm,
need to stand in my purpose and who I am. And as
mhm.
long as I'm doing that, then I'm able to start trusting myself more and doing things that I know that I want to do, doing
Yeah.
things I know that I'm capable of doing because I'm not worried about what someone thinks or them understanding me. So I'm then able to trust myself. And when you start taking actions and seeing that, oh,
Mm,
that wasn't so bad or that worked out great, that's
yeah.
when the confidence starts building. So the confidence doesn't come until you move.
Mm,
So that's the
yeah.
thing. You have to take action within yourself and choose you. One of the things, you know, that I talk about so much with women is just choosing yourself. And I know it sounds so cliche, but
Mhm.
everything starts and ends with you.
Yeah.
And once we're able to grasp that and really be in control of that, our mind, our thoughts, regulating our nervous system, and things happen because it's not always going to be a wonderful day. That's the thing. We all will
Mhm.
have things that pop up, but it's knowing how to handle those things when they happen and really being focused on not reacting to things, but responding to things. And, just taking the actions and steps to make a decision that, oh, I'm going to do something. And when you start taking those steps, then it's like the confidence just gets higher and
Yeah.
higher. And it's the best feeling. And one thing, too, about confidence, there's a difference in confidence and being conceited. And confidence is just knowing who you are, your skills and abilities, being grounded and certain in who you are. Conceited is the one that as soon as you step in the room, it's that that person, oh, it's all about them. They have to have this grandiose
Yeah.
entrance. The loud one. They're always bragging on themselves. That is conceited. Someone
Yeah,
that's
that's being
confident,
arrogant.
yes, being arrogant. And when you're confident, I don't have to speak on anything. You just have to step in the room.
Yeah, just watch me move, right?
Exactly. Look, can we do that again? That
Come on.
needed that one, yes.
Where's the clapping? Where's the
Where's the
clapping?
clap? We need that. Yes. Because that's the thing. A confident woman does not get to say a word. All
Mm.
you do is step in the room and the heads turn. It's like, who is that? Oh, it's me. That's who
Ooh,
it is.
chills.
Yes.
Uh, I want to ask everyone one question. And that question is why you tuned in into this, you signed up, or you're watching this and you stopped by, right? And you're like, they're talking about authenticity. And you said, I want to become more authentic. My question for you is why? What is motivating you right now to become more authentic? Do you want to show your kids that this is how you live life? You are your authentic self and you give your kids permission to be who they are as well? Are you doing this for your inner child who never had a chance to? Why am I feeling emotional?
Yes.
Are you doing this for your inner child who never had the chance to show up as who she is? Are you doing this for the people that you are trying to help? So, whatever that is, next time you find yourself, who do I think I am? I am never, I cannot show up like that. Just think about why are you doing this, right? Do the regulation, connect with yourself, but also think about why are you doing this? What is your motivation to walk in this world being authentic? And this would, for me, it automatically makes me do the thing because I'm like, you know what? This is one of my values. I'm here to help people. I immediately go to my inner child and be like, we're safe now, so we're doing this.
Mhm.
Think about your why and walk with that in mind and move with that in mind.
Yes. I love that. Yeah. And it also makes me think about going back to kind of the fear of what they will think. The fear of what they will think lives in the shadows when you're able to name it out loud, whatever that fear is, because if you don't, you let that fear rob you of your power.
Yeah.
So, like I said, naming it is the first step, but it's that first act of courage that you
Yeah.
take for yourself. And then one thing that I also ask women all the time is, you know, will that person's opinion of you matter in 5 years?
Oh,
Most of the time, the answer is no.
yeah.
Which clearly puts the past, that perspective of the fear in the past. But you know, fear shrinks fast when you put it in that perspective. Why am I fearing this person, and why am I giving so much control and power over someone who has no control and power over me? You have all the control and power over yourself. So,
Yeah.
as you think about authenticity as well as like a leadership tool, reframe those feelings of being quote unquote too much as being clear. When you show up as yourself, you attract the right people, and the wrong ones go away. And that's not rejection, that is alignment.
Mhm.
And going back to the growth and the changes, there should be different stages and phases of life that you enter into, and changing and growth and new alignment to different people that now align with where you are in your journey today. So, being too much just means you're being clear, and the
Yeah.
right people stay and the wrong ones leave. And that's not rejection, that's curation of this new person that you are becoming her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. And when you're authentic, that's just a normal process of things. You are going to repel people, and that is good. That is good. When you being your authentic self, I don't mean you being aggressive and whatever. And sometimes people are like, I'm honest. No, you're aggressive. Okay. I'm not talking about that type of authenticity. You're aggressive. You can be honest without, punching people in the face. I
Yeah.
don't even know where I was going.
But that was funny. But yes, no. And
I
you're
was just
exactly right.
I was just thinking about these people, and then they get on my nerves so much. I forgot about what I was saying. I know. Take the lead.
The fact that, so one, I know that we're almost, at the top of the hour, but
Yeah.
this discussion has been really, really great. And, you know, one of the things I think about is we talk about these different strategies that we've given, the women today and people that will come back and watch the replay. And, I just don't want women to walk away and leave with awareness. So, one of the things that I created for you all was a power check in, and to help you actually look at where you've been holding back in your life, because seeing it is one thing, but now the question becomes, what are you going to do with it? And it's something that when you think about that, don't overthink it. Just be honest with yourself, because your honesty is where the power lies. So, I've just enjoyed this conversation, and I hope that you guys are going to enjoy the check-in tool. But this has just been great, Eric. I know you have some things as well.
I do. I have some things. We have gifts for you. Okay. We should have said that at the beginning. But, anyways, if you want, let us know in the comments if you have any questions, if you have any comments, if you agree with us. Let us know. Okay. Even if you're catching the replay, I'm going to come back to it and just see what people are saying, as always. Okay. And Michelle was actually talking about a gift that she has for you. So we both have gifts for you, right? The first one is what Michelle just described, which is her power check-in. The handle that is here down below, ignore it. Okay, I forgot to change it. I used my graphics and forgot to change it. You are going to find Michelle on Facebook, mainly on Michelle Clarkson. Okay, that's her handle. If you want to follow her on Facebook, because some of you are watching this on YouTube, and if you want to follow lovely Michelle Clarkson, then you already know where to find her. If you just screen that QR code, you are going to automatically download Michelle's gift. And I'm going to share the link in the comments in case you cannot do that now. Okay, hold on. Let me try and find the link. Okay, so this is Michelle's gift. I'm going to give you some time. And if you have any questions and whatever, you just... I love this comment.
Yes, I love this, and I love collaborating.
Positive atmosphere detected. Thank you so much.
I love it. And this is one of the great things too, when you are able to be your authentic self, because, just like Erica said, she's in Spain. I'm in Atlanta, Georgia. But we were able to connect on Facebook. And the reason why we were able to connect, because we both were our authentic selves. There was something that we saw in each other's content that attracted us to each other. And now you get this dynamic duo dropping these little nuggets for you. But this is where it starts. Just be you, and be open to new things, be open to aligning with new relationships, because like we said, you want to repel the wrong people. They'll go, let
Exactly.
people be like, oh my gosh, here she comes again, Miss Positivity. Yep, scroll on if you don't want to see it, because this is where I am. And I'm fine with it. And once you get okay with that, everything changes and you just start having a new perspective just about life, yourself, your goals, everything you want. Because at the end of the day, it's all about you, beautiful.
Yes. Okay. Are you ready for our next gift? I
Yes.
am sharing the link in the comments and I'm sharing it as well in here. This is my 4-part After Healing series. It's a little course to people who have been doing a lot of the healing, like we have been talking about. And in here, you will find a 4-part series video where you will learn how to create that safety that I was telling you about, right? If you're trying to be authentic, achieve what you want to achieve. So you will find a training on that. It's 4 trainings. Listen, they are so good. People come to me, talk about this After Healing series all the time. And I was like, you know what? I have to create something so people can access it. And I said, you know what? I'm just going to do it and share it with everyone when we do these beautiful training that we just done. Okay, so the links are in the comments. If you're catching this on the replay, I am going to place them in the description as well. Make sure, remember, you have 2 gifts. Is your Where Am I Holding Back Power check-in. I looked into it. It has very powerful questions to help you realize, okay, where am I holding back? So really sit down and take your time to do this. I really love the powerful questions that Michelle included. So really go ahead. I don't know what I'm doing. So really go ahead and check it. And then you have this 4-part healing series. So you are leaving here with 2 gifts that are going to help you feel and become and express your authenticity and go after what you want, okay? And if you want to follow me on Facebook and Instagram, I'm forward with Erica everywhere. So just look me up. And I don't know, this has been a beautiful time, beautiful conversation. Michelle, thank you so
Yes.
much.
So thank you, Erica, for suggesting that we do this again. And I think that we need to start making this something that we do all the time. I just think,
I
when you can connect with someone and that connection is there and you collab just so good and just the conversation flows awesome. So, this is great.
This is great. Okay, tribe. I guess I'll see you on the next one. Oh my God. If you go on Instagram, I started a 40-day series with lessons that I have learned, 40 lessons before 40. It's going to be really fun. Okay. I'll see you.
Awesome.
I'll see you out there in the social media streets.
Yes, that's me. You can find me on all the social media streets under
Yeah,
Michelle Clarkson, YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, everywhere. We're out there every day,
we're
dropping our
out
nuggets.
there. Okay.
Yes.
Take care of your
Thanks,
authentic
ladies. Have a
selves.
great day.
Bye.
Bye bye.